I'm sitting here on December 10th trying to wrap my head around where this Cowboys team actually stands. Man, it's been one wild ride this season. Watching this team go up and down like a roller coaster, that'll test anyone's patience. Let me lay out the reality for you. After the last game loss to the Commanders, we got a glimmer of hope. Yeah, the Eagles helped us out, but now we got to talk about what actually needs to happen for Dallas to make the playoffs. And trust me, the path isn't pretty, but it's there. What's up, Cowboys? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Cowboys. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about America's team. First things first, the Cowboys have 4 games left. I'm talking Minnesota at home, Chargers at home, then hitting the road for Washington, and wrapping up against the Giants. Here's the deal. If we want any shot at the postseason, we pretty much have to run the table, win out. All 4 games, no room for errors. Now let me break down what running the table actually looks like. Minnesota comes to town, and yeah, they've been getting in their own way lately, but they just destroyed Washington, so don't think for a second this is going to be easy. They can drop 30 on you just as fast as anyone. The Chargers game is interesting because we just saw them give up 7 sacks against Philadelphia looking all kinds of goofy. But here's what I've learned. Just because a team looks terrible one week doesn't mean they're showing up that way against us. Justin Herbert's left hand should be healed up by then, and that's a different animal to deal with. Then we got those road divisional games. Washington on Christmas Day, then the Giants. Man, those games scare me more than anything. Not because those teams are great, they're both already eliminated from playoff contention, but that's exactly why it's dangerous. Teams with nothing to lose can play spoiler, and there's something powerful about ruining someone else's season. Plus, Christmas Day travel, short week, all that mess. Recipe for disaster if you're not locked in. The home games I feel pretty good about. We've shown we can handle business at AT&T Stadium, but those divisional road games at the end of the season, that's where things get dicey. Weather could be a factor. Guys might have one foot in the parking lot thinking about the holidays. These are the games that historically bite us. So let's say we do run the table, win all 4. What else has to happen? Well, there's 2 paths, winning the division or sneaking in as a wild card. Let me start with the divisional route. Philadelphia is sitting at 8-5 right now. For us to catch them and win the NFC East, they got to lose 2 of their final 4 games. Let's look at their schedule. They got Las Vegas, 2 games against Washington, and a trip to Buffalo. Now, I definitely think Buffalo beats them. That's almost a lock. The question becomes, where's the other loss? The Raiders are terrible, I'll give you that. But their defense can make things tricky, and the way Jaylen Hurts has been playing, so volatile, so up and down, you never know. Could the Raiders pull off the upset? Maybe. It'd probably be something like a 3-2 final score, but stranger things have happened. Then you got those 2 divisional road games. Jaden Daniels might be back healthy by then, and if he is, that changes everything. Even with Marcus Mariota under center, Washington took Denver to the wire. If Mariota makes a couple plays, especially in that home game, the Commanders could absolutely steal one. That's really what we're banking on. Someone stepping up and taking down Philly twice. Honestly, though, I think our best shot is just hoping Hurts continues being terrible and we take the division that way. I like that route better because it guarantees us at least one home playoff game. And this team is way better at home. Now, let's talk about wild card. This is where it gets complicated. We'd have to jump 3 teams: Carolina, Detroit, and Chicago. Let's start with Carolina. Carolina is 6-6, battling with Tampa for the NFC South. Good news is we only need them to lose 1 game out of their final 4. They got a trip to Houston, which, yeah, good luck with that. The Texans should handle them. So Carolina feels manageable. Jump them, and you probably jump Tampa too, since they're fighting for the same division spot. Detroit is tougher at 8-5. They got to lose 2 of their last 4 for us to leap them. Their schedule? At the Rams, Pittsburgh at home, at Minnesota, and at Chicago. If they're losing a game, it's probably that Rams game. The Rams are fighting for playoff positioning. They're not messing around. Plus, it's this weekend, so the Lions won't have time to overlook anyone. But here's the thing about Detroit. They're starting to get banged up. Lost Brian Branch to an Achilles injury, offensive line's been hurt all year, and yeah, they destroyed us. Looked absolutely dominant doing it. But maybe, just maybe, that aggression and chip on their shoulder was personal. Because they can go out and dominate for 1 week, then lay an egg the next. Plus, look at their schedule. 3 road games to finish. Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff get them outside in cold weather. Goff with 2 gloves on in freezing temperatures. Bet the under every time.
He struggles when it's cold. That final stretch could expose them. Now, Chicago. They're 9-4, and here's the kicker. They'd have to lose 3 of their last 4 for us to jump them. Their schedule is brutal, though. Home against Cleveland, home against Green Bay, at San Francisco, then home against Detroit. Let me tell you about that Cleveland game. People sleep on the Browns' defense. Myles Garrett is a legitimate problem. Their defense is tough, and Caleb Williams hasn't exactly been tearing it up as a passer. He's running around erratically, not particularly accurate when he's scrambling. I could see Cleveland running the ball, controlling the clock, and pulling off the upset. It's matchup-based, and that matchup favors the Browns. Then Chicago faces Green Bay, 49ers, and Detroit. Those are all playoff teams, all tough games. I think they could easily drop 2 or 3 of those. The question is, are the Bears for real? They were at the top of the NFC at one point, but we're about to find out. This closing stretch will tell us everything about whether Chicago's a legitimate playoff team or just a 9-4 pretender. You know what's funny? Every time I think about how rough our season's been, I look at Washington and the Giants and think, man, talk about miserable. But here's the thing about divisional games. They're always competitive regardless of records. Washington's on an 8-game losing streak, but I guarantee those games will be tough. The more I think about it, the more I believe our best path is the division. We need Philly to collapse, and honestly, they look like they're heading that direction. Their offense is struggling, Hurts is playing poorly, but here's my concern. They get to play Las Vegas this weekend. If there's ever a get-right game for a struggling offense, it's against the Raiders. They could build some confidence, get rolling, and suddenly we're chasing them down again. One thing that keeps eating at me, this defense. Man, this defense. We beat the Chiefs, beat the Eagles, looked fantastic, then we face the Lions and get absolutely torched. It's this constant roller coaster that drives me crazy. The offense put up 30 points in Detroit, on the road. That should be enough. But the defense? They got shredded. And I'm tired of making excuses. I really am. Matt Eberflus got to figure this out. You can't let teams start at their own 41-yard line every possession. Whether it's scheme, personnel, whatever, something's got to change. And apparently there might be some changes coming. Jerry Jones was talking about Logan Wilson getting more snaps. You know what that tells me? That's Jerry stepping in. Because if it was the coach's decision, it would have happened already. Jerry traded draft picks for Wilson, picks he values incredibly highly, and the guy's barely playing while Kenneth Murray's out there struggling. At some point, enough is enough. Maybe Jerry finally said, look, we gave up assets for this player, let's see what he can do. Speaking of personnel, Trevon Diggs. Man, that's a loaded conversation. If he's healthy, you want him out there. The talent is undeniable, but there's been questions all season about his commitment to the rehab process, about whether he's doing everything possible to get back. And look, I get it. During the offseason, do your rehab however you want. It's your body. But during the season, when you're getting paid that contract, you do what the team asks. You commit fully. The frustrating part is we need him. When Diggs is right, he changes the game. But if he comes back and he's still playing 10 yards off the line to scrimmage like Jordan Lewis and everyone else in this soft zone scheme, what's the point? The scheme has to change. You can't bring back a talent like Diggs and have him playing that far off receivers. Bottom line, this team has to win out. There's no other option. Minnesota, Chargers, Washington, Giants. 4 wins. Then we need help. Either Philly collapses and loses 2, or we need Carolina, Detroit, and Chicago to stumble. It's a lot of dominoes that have to fall.